So I don't want to, steal Theresa's introduction. I definitely want Theresa to go ahead and introduce herself. But I'm just super excited to be kind of locking arms with Theresa going into 2022. She's somebody I really looked up to before even coming into FFL. I remember looking at her and being like, wow, she's out there writing Nintendo numbers, and I was at my practice company. So she has so much to offer. So with that being said, Theresa, if you could just kind of hit the call off with kind of who you are, what got you into the insurance business, what you were doing before that, kind of what everything looked like and how you got here.
Absolutely. Well, okay. So I joined on in 2015. So I was the company was, I believe, just about a year and a half old. I tell you, if I could tell you the transition between then and now, my background was in the restaurant business. I ran $1 million restaurants for about 12 years in the Hamptons. That was my last profession before. I was in the restaurant business for 35 years, but I went as far as I could go without owning the restaurant, if you will. So I remember I was bringing a big bag of money over to the owners, and I'm friends with them still. And she says, you know what, can you bring me a bottle of white wine while you bring that, money over tonight? So I'm putting the wine in the car and the money. And I thought, what in the hell am I doing? Like, I'm making thousands, and it was like $30,000. And I thought, okay, there's something wrong with this picture. She's sitting home and I'm busting my butt 12 hours a day, and they're collecting all the money. So it was like just a hit in the head that said, you know what, I need to do something for myself. So really still great friends with them. They no longer own that restaurant, by the way. So do you want to mute me?
No.
Okay. All right, cool. We can hang out. And so the bottom line was that I knew it was time to make a change. I was like 55 and working 12 hours a day, leaving crooked, that kind of thing. And so I was making good money. I worked 6 months a year. I was making about 100,000. And then the other 6 months I was off, and I'd stay in Florida. Wasn't a bad gig. It was just a really hard job, physically and mentally, because you had to, numbers had to be produced, which is why maybe that carried over into FFL. I knew how to produce numbers if I needed to, if you will. So I came in, I had an agent come to my home. He, are you on Zoom? Because you should be on this call. Uh-huh. Okay. And so I had an agent come and sell me a policy. And that particular week, I was working at the Westin Lake Las Vegas. And I took my back out. And while I was laying there, I was like, you know what? I really should get my license and maybe try this. So I did. And it took me about 6 months really to get my footing, because I was in the service industry. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. What can I get you, ma'am? And so it was hard to transition, from wanting to do everything for everybody to making it a business and saying, no, that's not, whatever it was, I was doing it wrong. So it took me about 6 months. And my first year, I did like 102,000 in about 6 months, and then 6 to 9 months, really pushed around paper for a while, did a lot of nothing. And so Paul McLean and I had an honest conversation, and he said, Theresa, you if you're not going to do this like full time, or you don't want to, maybe you should get another job. And I was like, no, I worked hard, I got my license. So I took it seriously, went on a lead program, got an office, and then pretty much took off from there.
I love it, because you have such a unique story from you got into this business because somebody came to your home and helped you.
Yeah, I was one of those. Yeah, I did. I filled out a card. You got to understand, my husband's older than me. I thought, oh, geez, what if something happens to him? Maybe I better find out if I can pay off the mortgage, which is, I know the mindset of filling out that card because I did it. And so, yeah, and I tell people that, I got into this business because I filled out one of these cards. And so best thing I ever did, best thing I
Amen
ever
to that.
did. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Awesome. And then I think that a lot of people on this call, just kind of knowing some of their backgrounds, can relate to being in the service industry. I know that, I was all through college and before I got into insurance. And
Mhm,
like you said, the whole thank you, yes, sir, yes, ma'am,
mhm,
absolutely, I would love to do that, no
mhm,
problem.
mhm,
That, touch, as
mhm,
great as it can be in the service industry, doesn't always help us here. But you were willing to tweak, adjust, and adapt. And that's what you did. And that's why you're crushing it.
yeah.
So like I mentioned, Theresa, I've always looked up to you. What do you feel like some of the things, maybe that you're willing to do that other people aren't willing to do? And maybe that's not why maybe that could be the reason as to why they're not seeing the success that they would like to see here at FFL.
Okay, sure. I think that if you really, you have to, well, for me, I'll speak in I terms. I had to take it seriously as a business. Like I said to myself, I was training the other day in the other room, and I said, I had to ask myself, and it's really true. We've heard this on trainings, heard it from Paul, and I respect Paul so much because he really did take me to Hall of Fame, and with just honest conversations. And he said, well, would you hire yourself or would you fire yourself? Just ask yourself that tonight. And I was like, damn, I think, so when I got the office, I decided that when it was dial day, when I never missed a call. I can tell you the things that I did do right. I can also tell you the things I did wrong. I'm really good at that. But what I did do right was I plugged in. I drove to California. Like we have meetings now, like a half hour away from our home. I drove 4 hours every other week because I was so thirsty like a sponge. I wanted to learn everything. And so I did that right. I just said, I got to do this. I got to get it right. So that I would go in my office and Andrew Taylor would come in like 8 o'clock at night. He'd be like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I didn't fill my schedule yet. So I would get in the office at 8, and if it was 8 o'clock, and I would dial till 9 p.m. If I didn't have my schedule filled, and then as I got better on the phone, then it was 6 o'clock, then it was 5 o'clock, then it was 4 o'clock. But that constant don't get off the phone until your schedule is filled was really huge for me in the beginning because I needed more appointments because I wasn't that good. And so the second year, I was able to double my income to 218. And then the third year to 236, then 318, then 424. And then I should touch on this because I think it's important for everybody. My husband got sick. So because I had worked that 5 years hard while he was well, I was able to take off 5 months last year and still hit $250,000. So it's,
Can I just pause you right
please
there?
go right ahead.
Like, how amazing is that? Awful situation, right? But
Unbelievable.
Theresa, you were still able to provide and make it happen. I
Mhm,
think you said you were working like one day and, like
mhm.
with clients.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you care so much about people
Mhm,
that elevates and it shines, no
mhm,
matter what format you're using, whether you're on Zoom, you're on the
mhm.
phone, you're
Right,
face to face, people
right.
feel that. And I
Sure.
think a lot of that goes back to, even just, you filling that form out, right? It's like
Right.
you sat in that person's shoes, right? And
Sure.
that's a really big deal.
It is.
And being able to face that adversity with your husband, the person that you love so much in this world,
Mhm,
and still saying, I can do this. Because some
mhm,
people would have just gave up. They would have been like, well, I'm just not going to write this year,
mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm,
But you didn't. And
mhm.
it's almost like my question, I guess, for you, Theresa, is like, why didn't you? And like, how did FFL help you to be able to keep going?
Absolutely. Well, Christine, when you work hard for 5 years, like I put everything into my business. I couldn't even possibly imagine working for somebody at this point in my life, nor would I recommend it because if you can, so all right, let me start with your first question. How was I able to? Well, I didn't want to give up my business. I've been on the same lead programs for 5 years. I knew that my husband was going to get well because he had COVID and an operation. So he didn't have terminal cancer. He was going to recover, which he did to a certain extent. And I just wasn't willing to give up all the hard work that I put in, even just for myself, because I didn't build a huge team. I'm in a different place than a lot of people, but in the same place at the same time, meaning, how to get out there and make a good living for yourself. And I definitely recommend hiring from day one, that kind of thing. But I am in a different place because I'm older. You know what I mean? And so let's just put it out on the table, what it is for me. I wasn't willing to give up the income. I became very, very, very comfortable in my lifestyle during that whole pandemic, and my husband being sick. I realized something one day. I had an Audi, 2016 Audi, and I got a letter in the mail, and they said, your maintenance plan is up. And so I went down, I said, I got to either get a maintenance plan. I walked away with a brand new 2021, and I hadn't worked for 5 months. So I realized that day when I was driving home the car, I said, holy crap, what FFL has done for me was it gave me the ability to work really hard when everything was right in the world, and gave me the ability to still enjoy my life when it was wrong in the world. So that's where I'm at. I mean, and my husband is still recovering to some point. He's, doctor's appointments all the time. But what a blessing to be able to, like you say, write $250,000 and barely work. So that's, let me get rid of that. Sorry about that.
No worries. And that's amazing. It's like when I was talking to you, Theresa, initially about that, and you were like, yeah, I was with families like one day a week. It wasn't because, Theresa, you woke up and you were so good. It was because you had all the reps in, right? Mm-hmm. That you were able to minimize it into crunch it. Like you said, when it's the right time, go hard. When it wasn't the right time, put it over to the side, and you're going to go hard when you have that moment too. Exactly. And that's why I respect the heck out of you for that. And that's huge. And I know you touched on this a little bit, but you consistently write hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You've hit Hall of Fame. You've hit big strides within FFL. And how much do you feel like that attributes to you actually plugging in and not ever becoming too good for any call or podcasts or things like that? What does that look like from day one, and what does that look like now?
Okay, sure. It looks the same. And I'll tell you why I say that. The FFL is ever evolving. It is like, if you miss a week, you missed something huge. I mean, I have never seen growth anywhere in my 64 years like Family First Life. So I'm not going to let myself fall behind in the knowledge of of what's happening out there, how many agents we have, the numbers. I do not compete with other people as far as writing business. I don't go look and see what this one is doing or that one is doing. I basically laser focus in on my own business. But I do, of course, see leaderboards, but plugging into the calls still, getting on the trainings, the AMS Live this morning, Jay Rosenthal is sending over stuff for Social Security. These kind of things will build your business so fast. I never missed a call. I remember when I first started, I would be listening to Andrew and Paul, and they were in the field. And Paul would be writing 10,000 and Andrew, 10,000. And I'd be like, damn, I wish I could do that. And so I would listen, and I'd listen to the leaderboard, and all of a sudden I was writing 3, then 4, then 6, and before you knew it, I was writing Paul's numbers, and I was like, holy crap, this is real. They weren't lying, because I would sit there going, they're lying. They're padding those numbers. They can't be doing it. Just to myself, I'd be thinking it, but the fact is that they were real. And it just life-changing numbers, life-changing income. I don't know how to explain. Sometimes I just sit back and go, how the hell did I get this lucky? Like you just can't, not having to answer to anybody, being able to be at the births of my grandchildren in different states and come back and write business and nobody ever knew I was even gone. Not having to ask somebody for a day off, having Christmas off, having mothers, all those things. So, did that answer your question? I'm not even sure. I'm kind of.
No, it did. It did. So being able to really just prioritize.
Plug in.
Yeah, exactly. Plugging in and prioritizing what you want to prioritize, because that's what this is about. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you built it up to where Theresa needed it to be for Theresa, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you all gas, no brake. And just to kind of wrap up, I got 2 questions for you to wrap up, because I know you have to hop off. So how important do you think it is to have the stance of a lead as a family versus a lead is $11 that you just paid and now the phone number's wrong? And like, how do you look at that or change that perspective?
Sure. So if you have 20 Facebook leads and 2 people answer, and you write 2 policies, now just 2 edits, so that's 1%. You write 2 policies for $1,500 a piece. You write, so you have $3,000. Take the $3,000 divided by 20. I don't even know what it is. I don't know. Let's do the math. 3,000 divided by 20.
15.
You've made $150 for every person that didn't pick up the phone. That's how I look at it. Because honestly, you cannot count on, and in the beginning, to be transparent, I would be like, oh my God, that's $60, for mortgage leads, or that, because they were 60, they're not 75 and 100. But I mean, that just dates me, but it's true. But then when I got that concept and when I heard it on a call that said, you know what, just take your issue paid numbers divided by your leads, and every person that screamed at you, hung up, say thank you for that $150, pal. So that's how I look at it. I do not even look at how many leads I get. They just come in and I work them and it all works itself out. I've been on lead programs now for 6 years solid. I've had the same lead programs and I have never not, a bad month would be 5x, but a regular month is more like 8 to 10. Yeah. So if you're spending $1,000, you're writing 10,000. If you're, and that's really true.
Absolutely. And, Theresa, that's like great perspective in terms of how you're looking at the lead, because you're saying, yes, it is a family. It's not just a piece of paper. I could count my losses or I could round it off, right? And I can say, hey, like when Theresa answered and told me to fly a kite, it didn't matter because I still went out, I made these sales, I made this money, and your average goes higher and higher and higher, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm. And I also try to resolve all leads. So I have a big map in my office. I can actually show you guys. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but that big map up there. I have a giant map of Las Vegas and I put it into 4 sections and I carry folders with the leads in like North Las Vegas, East Las Vegas, West Las Vegas, and so I'll put the ones that I didn't reach. And if I get no showed, I'll just open my lead program from that area and I'll go door knock it. We also text message. Email, if there's an email, used to be, I forget that program. There was one lead program that sent the emails along with it. It's not, I don't know. I don't use it anymore, but any way to reach them, keep calling, give it to new agents. Don't let them sit, because and it's a true story. Trey Honeycutt gave 5 times the same leads to 5 new agents and they all closed business on it. So yeah, so those 18 people that didn't answer, they're going to get hit by somebody else. Somebody that's hungry is going to go door knock them. They're free, so that's
boom, boom, done. Love it. And then last question to wrap up, Theresa, would be, what are your goals personally for 2022? whether that's personal production and or teamed.
For sure. You know, you always want to set your goals high. I in my position now, I'm more part-time in the field and more looking to build a team. So I would be, I mean, I'm just being honest and transparent. I'm always looking to go to Hall of Fame, because that's what we should be doing, you know. And so I'm looking for that. Whether it'll happen or not, you know, that's up to God, but I'm going to give it a try, because I wouldn't mind if I do retire eventually, I want to go out at the top like I always have. For a team, I have like 4 people on a team right now. So I'm looking to go to 400 to 500 a month this year throughout the year. So.
Awesome, Theresa. Well, I'm really happy that, you know, we're all locking arms, partnering up, and
Yes, yes.
super excited to have you. Thanks for being on with us today. I
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And you're killing
Absolutely.
it. Keep killing it. Do it while you're young. If anything happens, you'll be okay. God bless.
Thank you.
Thanks,
God
everybody.
bless. Take care,
Okay.
Theresa.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So, guys, so Theresa had us to hop off, so that's why I wanted to kind of get that going, just because she has an appointment, so I wanted to respect her time. But what a mindset, right? Because we always talk about how this business is like 95% mindset, right? Because the phones, what is the phones? The phones is your mindset, right? It's like when you're tired or you don't feel good, you know, you have to go to the doctor. Like, this might be a me thing, but it's like, I don't even want to call the doctor because I don't want to deal with them, right? It's like the same exact thing. If I, instead of thinking, hey, I don't feel good, if I call the doctor, I have a better chance of getting medicine that will help me feel better. Versus I correlate it with, it's scary to go to the doctor. I hate going to the doctor. And like, you know, there's 2 perspectives to that. And I think Theresa just did a great job of really outlining, like, what does that actually look like in real life? And if you couldn't relate it all to Theresa, it's just like, that was a great, it was great insight. And that's sometimes what we need, is a different person's insight. So just super happy to have Theresa on the team with us. But with that being said, we're going to go into some quick recognition. Moving forward, we will start with recognition. Eric Stewart pointed out earlier, it's a great point of starting with recognition, not to get it out of the way, but just so we can have all the content, you know, packed up together. So with that being said, though, Christina, if you could go ahead and screen share, that would be awesome. All right. So as you guys probably know, or if you're new to the call, Family First Life's week starts on Thursday. It ends on Wednesday. So we're going into week 3 of 4 in the month of January. So week 2 ended as of yesterday. So we always want to kind of keep that in our planners, so to say, that the month in terms of Family First Life, if you're gunning for a goal, which hopefully you are, whatever that is, the month ends January 26th. So just kind of keep that in the forefront of your brain. All right, and then top 5 issue paid agents for December. We have Evan McGuffey, 23,004. Myself, 23,006. Christopher Shin, 31,005. Rami Hamadi, right under 40 grand, 39,600. And you Miss Yori her at 53,800. So way to go, guys. I have no doubt in my mind that these numbers are going to continue to jump. And what I'm really excited to see is new names going in there each and every week, because that's what's going to happen. So great job, guys. And congratulations to the first-time writers for December of week 5, George A. and Thomas H. Great job, guys. I know I say it each and every week, but if you can do it once, you can do it a million times. Keep your heart full. Remember what we're doing, and remember its bigger purpose. So way to go, guys. Super proud of both of you. And congratulations to James Shepard out of Utah. Welcome to the team. You passed your state exam and getting ready to get up, going, and helping families. So way to go, James. And then follow us on social media. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. And what you can do is you can go ahead and you can just share everything on those pages. You can share it, you can copy and paste it, make it your own, because a lot of you guys are probably thinking, okay, you know, maybe you are like, can I start building a team? Just so everybody on here knows, you can start building a team when you're in pre-licensing. That's what Paul McLean did, right? So it's like, there's no, we're not going to say, hey, Brad, we know that you're brand new, so teach, Bruce how to do this thing. No, we're going to help you and lead, guide, and direct with you. So just like Theresa said, she said, build from the beginning, right? And she said that because probably just like me, Theresa didn't build right from the beginning. And that's okay, yeah. But it's like, if I kick myself in the butt in this business, it's for not coming in and sharing this opportunity with everybody I had the chance to right from day one. So if you want to build and you're like, I don't really know what to do, reach out to your upline. I'm sure they'll love to help you out. Reach out to myself and make sure you have an Instagram, a Facebook, a Twitter, a LinkedIn, a TikTok. Just make one. Just make one. It can be your name, FFL. You can just get creative. If you don't have a logo yet, please do that. And again, anyone can build here. There's no prerequisites. It's not like, Keith has been here longer than, Brad. So Keith can build a team, but Brad can't. No, everyone has the same opportunity, which is amazing. So share this with people, because you don't know if you can change your friend's life, your friend's, mom's life, your friend's cousin's life. Share the opportunity with people. Don't be selfish like I was. And work spots. If you're not familiar with work spots at this point, please get familiar. Reach out to your upline, reach out to me. Work spots is a great place to connect with people in other offices all around the country. No matter where you are, there's probably an office within a 2-hour max vicinity of you, and probably one coming closer to you soon. So plug into that local office, and also lead discounts. This is $99 a month. By the way, I don't make any money for telling people about work spots. I just think it's a great thing, because I know that how much money I've saved on leads and how much money a lot of you guys have saved on leads through work spots. So if you don't have work spots, it's definitely worth, you're gonna have more than, it's gonna pay for itself via leads. So get work spots. And don't forget to register for annual convention. I know it seems like it's so far out, but it's not. It's 3 weeks from today, I believe. So register, fflconvention.com. Once you register, text me and say, done, registered. Anything along that sort. Same thing here. If maybe you have a friend that's kind of interested, kind of doesn't really know, bring them to this event. It's a free event. All you have to do is register and get yourself there. It's out in Miami, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys there. On the next team call, we will go ahead and announce, but I do just want to go ahead and drop this. We're going to go ahead and do a meet and greet for FFL Solidity out in Miami on Wednesday evening. So if you want to go ahead and put that in your calendar, that way you know that it's happening. It's going to be a meet and greet. It's like, what would be better than if you haven't, met, Keith, and you're able to go there, shake Keith's hand, shake Christina Coleman's hand. I know, for example, like, I'm excited to see Christina Coleman. I'm excited to see Shelly. I'm excited to see Lori. I'm excited. I can't even look at you guys all right now. I'm excited to see all of you. But it's like, this is a time, not only do we all get to connect, but we get to also connect with the whole entire company. And that's when, different boxes, so to say, can open up in this business. It could be one little tweak that changes everything. So Christina, thanks for having that on with us. And then the last thing I really want to go over today is something that a lot of people on the team have been taking advantage of, and I'm just really proud of you guys, which is telesales. We are going to go ahead and blast this out, and we're going to blast it out before I kind of go down a rabbit hole, because I don't want that to happen. I do want to just go ahead and mention, if you're in the home and you're killing it, stay in the home and stay killing it. Like, don't fix something that is not broken. However, it's not a bad idea to learn a telesales approach, but I'm saying I wouldn't necessarily take, time off from the field to learn telesales. However, if you're doing it in your downtime, your spare time, your later time, you're invested because this is your business, then do it, get it done. So I'm going to have Shelly kind of help me out on this one, as I know Shelly, Eileen, Dawn, Nicole have been, like busting it on there, and they've been making it happen. And it's actually really amazing to see. And I'm really proud of all of you guys. But really what that looks like is when you're doing telesales, one thing I do want to point out is it sounds like it's the easy road, and it's really not. It's actually kind of, I think, the path with more resistance, but you learn skill as you go. Like Shelly last night, but and I know I keep calling you out, Shelly, but I'm gonna have you help unmute in just a second. Like she was bossing up on there. She was telling people, hey, no, this is how you should do it and how you should say it. And I was like, okay, Shelly, like she knew exactly what she was doing. And I'm not gonna speak for Shelly, but Shelly hasn't been doing this for like 10 years. Like she's about her business. She wants to get it done. She wants to make sure it's efficient, and she wants to help the people around her. So with that being said, there is a telesales platform that we will share with the team. We do want to make sure though that, for example, Shelly had sat with people in home and had face-to-face experiences, so to say, before she was just like, oh, I'm going to do telesales, So with that being said, Shelly, I seen you on there yesterday, and if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and really just kind of telling us a little bit about some of your biggest takeaways from being able to plug into that Zoom telesales dial team, so to say, and how it's helped you.
Hi, you guys. How y'all doing? I'm Shelly. I'm nobody special. However, I'm going to just piggyback on what Marisa says about just going full-blown telesales. I actually did learn that the hard way, okay? And Yuri can back me up on that. I pulled all my business. I was doing great in-home, right? Part-time, got my numbers as running it very minimal because I am a mom of 3, okay? So, and then I pulled everything back in, when was it, October, November, and then all my numbers plopped. Right? So we live and we learn, but that's fine. But like she was expressing, telesales is a whole different animal. It takes time. And because it's a little bit less of a credibility you build with the client, right? And so for the most part, telesales is great. But while you're on there, I would actually be very upfront with the client. Hey, do you want to go ahead and hop on a FaceTime real quick? Because most people have, Apple or a Google Duo. Just again, that credibility is a little bit less. However, it's not impossible because you can, okay? But then just like you said, the Zoom dial team that I love so much is not just there just because they're there, but you have to surround yourself with the people who's being successful. You don't have to say it verbatim. However, if you just, kind of when someone's closing right there with you, you're going to pick up tips and very, important nuggets that you need to be able to do the telesales. It's word tracks, it's structure. It needs to be quick. It needs to be easy, right? Straight to the point, right? And so it's very, very powerful when you surround yourself in that environment. Okay. And then everyone's always like giving such good vibes. And just like we have here at Zoom, there's the chat that we have. While you're on the phone, you can unmute yourself, be guided. Don't be afraid. Just, you have to jump in it, correct? However, it takes time to learn. But the one thing I want to tell everyone is all the resource and tools and everything is available to us. I didn't do anything else but plug in YouTube. And I reached out to different top producers. There's no limit in FFL, and you're not limited to just here, with our team here. Everyone is so helpful. We're Family First Life is seriously a big family. Everyone wants to see you succeed. And the only reason why I have the confidence now know what I'm doing, I do Zoom, whatever, virtual, whatever it takes to get it done, is because I reach out. I'm like the crazy one that would be like stalking people, but hey, it works. So here I am now. But anyway, so you just gotta do what you have to do. And again, all the resources, tools, and all the information, and then practicing is all there for you. So.
Absolutely. And I think that, you're a prime example of somebody who just took the resources they had and you said, I'm going to leverage these, but I'm going to leverage them in non-income producing hours, right? It's like, yeah, like Shelly, you didn't take 3 weeks off and say, hey, I'm going to learn virtual sales, right? Like that didn't happen, right?
No.
You were like, hey, I'm going to learn this at night. I'm going to plug in, I'm going to listen, I'm going to apply it. And now you're moving, right? Just
Correct.
like in the home.
Correct. But then, like I said, it's not all telesales for me. I hybrid, as most of you know, and because it's a filler. So after I door knock, I will, I'll hop on onto the sales team. And again, when you're doing that as a hybrid system, it's all you're feeding energy too, because it sucks to get torched, right? So why do it you're by yourself, right? So go back and hop on. You have your laptop, whatever. Just get on, hop on the Zoom, and you'll be right back hyped up. Seriously, it's like, it's the best feeling ever to be surrounded with people who have the same intent as you. But you just have to go after it and go after all the resources that's available to you. Plug in, keep and stay plugged in. It's so powerful, you guys.
Absolutely. And way to just utilize your resources, Shelly, because that's amazing. And I mean, the control, the confidence, everything that it seemed like you had just from me listening to you so like short yesterday. I was like, she's amazing, right? And Shelly, you're probably sitting there like, well, I don't do anything that special, right?
I don't.
But
there's things I learned from you, and I take little pieces from everyone, and I make it my own, right? And that's one of the things about any telesales, any type of scripts, anything that we're doing in this business. It's like you guys said, it's a copycat business, right? And you find your own way and your own groove, and then you just protect the families and serve. That's it. This is, to me, it's so funny. I was telling Yuri, when was it the other day? I said, hey, you know what? All of a sudden, it's just, now I found the fun into like dialing. It was crazy. It was like an epiphany or something. I was like, hey, this is really fun. And just having conversations with people. We are not, to me, it's kind of like sales, right? But I hate the word. I'm like, no, this is not sales for me. This is, deeper than that for me, So anyway, just want to let you guys
absolutely know. It's like you're really big on like, we serve, we help, we protect families, right? And I love that about you. It's not always about the commission. The commission's great, right, Shelly? Right. But it's not always about the commission. It's about that family being helped and served. And you take a lot of pride in that. And I respect that a lot. And clients can feel that too.
And yeah, but as agents, yes, do take advantage because when you do telesales or a hybrid system, you're able to open up more market. It opens up so much. It broadens. It's kind of like now it's unlimited. Like I'm licensed in 14 different states now, and then I bought myself more time too, so I can fill in my day some more. So
absolutely, I love that, and that's what this business is all about, is running it how you want to run your business. So I encourage each and every one of you guys to just take a look at that. Again, if it's not broken, don't necessarily fix it. But however, just like Shelly said, she's a mom. She needs to work and be flexible around certain things. And on certain days, she's in the field. On other days, she's home. She's probably with the kids, helping out, doing a whole bunch of mom things, but also helping families. And that's the amazing thing.
Yeah, I want to share with you guys real quickly. You were saying all that, but it's so crazy. I actually retired my husband already. So we're literally, it's crazy. His last day at his job was yesterday. So all gas, no brakes. So here we go. Hall of Fame.
Love it. And Shelly, how long have you been here?
Oh my God, I was with the practice team like July, so 6 months.
So 6 months, and you went full time and retired your husband. Like, way to go. Just super proud of you. Like, that's amazing. And that shows like how FFL can change your life in a short span of time. If you put your head down, you go to work, right? So super proud of what you're doing, Shelly. And then just to kind of close out, and thank you for kind of just being willing to bounce off this with me today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no
what are your goals personally and, or team for 2022?
Oh, my Lanta, I just shared my numbers this week, and I don't total things up, right? This is my first time actually doing full-time schedule for the past 5 days. What was my numbers, Yuri? It was like, my AP was 16,000 for just 5 days. I set 20 appointments, sat with 12, closed 9. I was mind blown. And I was just so humbled. And I was like, okay, it's not repeat again. So really now I've broken out numbers. My original goal was 40,000, but I'm like, well, you know what? Don't stop there. I don't even know what my goals are. I'm just going to keep running and working my ass off. So sorry.
That's right. And you're going to hit Hall of Fame for sure.
That's it. That's the target. Minimum, right?
Minimally, absolutely. Amen to that. Well, Shelly, thank you so much for being on with us today. And again, guys, like Shelly said, utilize all the tools that you have. And she's a prime example of somebody who has and is seeing success. So thank you all for, jumping on today. Does anybody have any questions before we hop off? All right. Well, again, thank you, Theresa. Thank you, Shelly. And thank you all for hopping on. We're going into week 3. If anybody needs anything, please give me a call. Look forward to seeing you guys all soon. Take care. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you.